Welcome back to Geffin's channel, and tonight is a final review of where it all began and where it's probably going to end for me. Old Barry's spinning away quite loudly, so I'll shut him up. Mr. Wolf, on the other hand, is completely silent. Listen to him. Are you deaf? Anyway, I don't have much to offer, but I have just some unscripted thoughts on where my watch journey began and where it's ended for now. And that is with, in 2015, this watch, which, I haven't been into watches that long, only since 2015. And this watch was the one that started the journey for me, and for many of you probably as well. The SKX007. This is the K1. At the time when I bought this watch, I didn't know about J1. I just knew I wanted a watch. The idea to buy a watch came to me from nowhere. I'd never worn wristwatches in my life as a child or a young adult. For some reason, at some time in 2015, I was looking at the internet and the sea urchin from Seiko caught my eye, and I decided I must have a mechanical wristwatch. I didn't know anything about watches. I didn't know quartz or mechanical. I didn't care. I'd never had one. But suddenly, and for no known reason, the dive watch aesthetic just struck me, and I had to have it. I nearly bought a sea urchin, but in the end, I decided to go for this SKX, and I paid about £200 for it. And it's been a mainstay for me ever since. I upgraded the bracelet to this strap code Super Oyster, which is, in my opinion, the best bracelet for this particular watch. It's quite, and to this day, I still think it's one of the most handsome watches ever made. I'd love to have bought the JDM and all that with the special date wheel, but I'm just happy I got one while they were still available. This watch was discontinued in 2019, and try to get hold of an original one that isn't some sort of Frankentwerp nowadays, it's not easy. So I'll never get rid of this. It's never been serviced, and it still keeps impeccable time. Friday the 5th of May. The bezel's not great. Nothing about it is great, but overall it is excellent, and I just love this watch. It's a 42mm dive watch. It fits my birthed wrist snug as a bug, and it is just something special, and I wear it without fear of scratching or denting, as I've always done. It's quite scratched up, and it's, I started with this watch and I didn't know about watches, didn't know about protecting them and not scratching the lugs and all of those things that we all learn over time. But I just love it. And so that's the SKX007. And look at this lovely evening light. Look at him, he's very well used. At the other end of the scale, this is the last watch I bought. And this one, as you'll all have seen many times before, is the Seiko Marine Master 300 meter. And this is like an SKX with all rules abandoned. It is, we might say, top of the line for Seiko. I mean, it's something else, something to be beholden. But both of these give me an equal amount of pleasure when I put them on my wrist. Just look at them. Is the difference in price really justified? Probably it is, but this watch cost me £200. Disregard today's prices. And this one cost me £2,500. The retail value in British money is £2,800. Enjoy them both. I'm not going to get technical about it. They're just both beautiful watches that I've enjoyed over the years. This one I've had for just over a year now. This one I've had for about 7 or 8 years. 8 years. And bezel actions. Well, let's have a look. Marine Master bezel. Marine Master handset. Trying to catch it in the light. SKX bezel. Not so good. But I've handled a lot of SKXs, and this one has the worst bezel of all. Mr. June has a couple of them which are much nicer. Case backs. The Tsunami. And this one is 2015, December. And of course, the case back of the monocoques are for the beach. This one coming from 2021 in March. Look at the state of that. Absolutely proper. Wrist shots. Well, enjoy that as I do. 20mm bracelet. Gold toned traffic light twerp with an unprotected loom heart. Homo, look at him. Just enjoy it. Enjoy that. Zaratsu polish for the beach. So if you can wear an SKX, you can wear a Marine Master. I'm rambling on here, but I love these watches so much. The SKX wears a little bit smaller, but not much. Thinner, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. But look at that on the wrist. It's, to my mind, still one of the most handsome watches ever made. Really is. I wish they'd do an A-tail version of an SKX. I'd be first in the queue. Fancy pants. So that's it, guys. Gavin just throwing up content, giving you some thoughts. Beginning and end of the collection. You know, the LX would be a dream. SLA023. Mr. June promised it, but he's homoed out, and it appears that he's not going to buy one now. So for the mainstay, and for the considerable future, there will be no new twerps. I'd like a Zinyu 1 or a Zinyu 2, but I just don't have the money. Anyone wants to send me a watch, feel free. I'll review it with aplomb. But for the time being, these two watches represent the beginning and the end of my watch collecting journey. Stay freaky, keep feathers retarded for the beach. In the face, never give up. Get rid of it and kill yourselves immediately. Kev Chris signing off.